What is leadership for you?
Leadership for me is very personal. It defies whatever the definition that the dictionary has provided. Leadership is your own methodology of how you let the people around you follow you without really imposing on something. It's
Mhm.
leadership by character, it's leadership by example. That's how I define it. The rest will be useless if you don't take everything into action, what you just said. For me, discipleship is also the best definition for leadership, or shall I say, the other characteristics of leadership is by discipleship. What do I mean by that? Aside from mentoring, you really have to take an individual to journey with you, not just to journey with you, but to understand
Mhm.
the dynamics of the journey, to understand what's the vision ahead, to understand what the troubles may come along the way, and what characteristics to implore when all these troubles are in place. For me, that's how I define leadership. It's very personal thing. It's something that you cannot actually follow from the rest. It's up to you. It's up to you on how you're gonna design your own leadership motivations and skills.
Mhm. So, what would you say would be the top three problems that they normally face?
Okay, I like that question. One, it depends on the leader. But let me qualify the question. Let me qualify my answer too. The common three problems for me that most leaders around the world encounter or most often
Mhm.
fail not to amend that. Number one, they fail to recognize the ever-changing environment. Before pandemic, the world is changing already. That's a fact. The world is revolving around its axis every day. It it revolves in its own axis, but changes are happening every moment. And most of the visionaries and the leaders up there fail to understand that these changes are beyond their control. So if the change is inevitable, your leadership style has to be changing according to the times. But the way I look at it, these leaders, no matter how great they were, failed to look at from the hindsight that the things that they did in the past may not be relevant today.
True.
It has to change. That's one thing. Number two, most leaders have misconceptualized their existence. You can't be a leader just because you have people around you to lead.
Mhm.
Wrong. Leadership comes from leading yourself. If you cannot even control yourself, if you cannot even control your emotions, your tactics, your own dreams, your own self, then how can you lead people? Leadership or leaders right now fail to see that perspective.
Mhm.
And number three, most leaders, when they reach the apex of their successes, fail to recognize that they are in the echelon, the highest echelon of their successes because there are people below
Mhm.
who actually let them climb the ladder of success.
Mhm.
They failed to see that, or they chose not to see that perspective because once you are up there, you're looking at the bright horizon and you forget that, hey, there are people down there building your pyramids. If they're going to be gone, you're surely going to fall.
Mhm. What are then the important leadership capabilities you must have in the next normal to continue to lead effectively?
Good. I love that question, Marilyn. Thank you. Having said those three problems, well, I can share to you based on experience.
Mhm.
One is examine your assumptions as a leader. You may have so many assumptions in your life, but those are assumptions that are no longer relevant. So
Mhm.
wake up. Okay, you wake up. It's not just because you're the leader, you're the boss. It doesn't follow that way that everybody will just follow the bandwagon effect. That's
Mhm.
passe. That's already cliche for me. Examine your assumptions. It has to be examined because things like this are being challenged nowadays. Number two, you have to commit to an intentional learning. Once you examine your assumptions that there's something wrong with the way you may set your perspective, the way you set the whole vision together with your group, then commit to your own intentional learning. Whether you like it or not, you have to humble down yourself that you don't know a lot of things too.
Mhm.
You get to learn many things from people who's been working with you. They have the power to educate you. All you just have to do sometimes is to listen. Now I'm preaching to myself because that's what I most often than not do to myself. You know, I sometimes over have this in my mind that I am the CEO, I built this, so you listen to me. But that has to change because these people are not dumb and idiots. These people have their own little brains that you can actually use to magnify the vision that you have. And number three, what you have to do is to redefine your purpose.
Mhm.
Redefine your purpose. Are you the leaders just up there, or are you the kind of a leader that you can go up and down and meet the people below, but you can still be up there because the people down there are supporting your successes in life? For me, that's the best way to trudge the next normal. You need people to work with you.